Hello folks, DaggerHand here. I'm going to do something a little different today. I have been a member of the OpenSims and the Second Life for many years. I've done a lot of projects. I've done a lot of creating. I've been part of art groups, and I've had my own stores and stuff like that in places that sell stuff. The OpenSim, it's a nice mixed bag of stuff. Most places, though, in the Open Sims, there's a lot of free. It's all about free, free stuff and the freedom to create without any restrictions. Second Life is a little different. Um, there are restrictions there, and but yeah, it's they're all great places to create stuff and stimulate the brain with projects of ideas of stores, houses, or whatever you have in mind to create. You just have to learn the tools that you have to work with. And I'm going to show you today. I am in the open sim here. I am in the world. Neverworld is what it's called. And let me see if this lady here, she's the owner, and very nice people. And she's provided a sim for me, and I thank her very much for it. And I'm going to show you very quickly. Okay, this is my region. Okay, and I am going to show you how to create this store. It's going to be a long video. Pause it, go back to it if you have to. It's going to be almost 2 hours long, this thing, so it's going to be a while. It's a lot of explaining, and I try to give you as much detail as I can. And there's so much more that I would have to make many more videos to show you, everything that we have available to us in terms of tools and things you can do. But this is a basic store, so it's to give you a basic understanding of how to make a place like this. So again, thank you to the owners here for giving me a place to call home. This is Neverworld, and we'll put some information for them in the description. And you folks, I will see you in just a moment. Build any kind of building or structure, everything begins with a prim. So in my viewer that I'm using here, which is the Singularity viewer, I'm going to hit create. Here you've got your prims. You've got different shapes, okay? And we're going to begin with the box. All right, you left click and you create it. So that's a prim, okay? One prim, okay? And they have many different shapes that you work with, but everything consists of prims and these places. Uh, this is the open sim, obviously, and you have other places like Second Life, and I'm going to show you how to get started here. And again, we are building a store from scratch and with minimal textures. Okay, we're going to blank that out. Okay, the first thing I want to do is throw a little color in that. I want to begin with black. And I'm going to stretch one side. You've got here, this button here, you can stretch both sides. So any one box you grab, it'll stretch both sides. And I don't want to do this. The white one will stretch all the sides, and the box will wind up part of it underneath the prim I'm standing on. So since I'm not using that right now, I'm going to stick with the one side. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm going to texture diffuse, add a little shininess. Okay, and then we can go back to the normal thing. All right, so I'm going to make my base for the store. All right, other people may start different ways. This is just how I do it. All right, I'm going to work off of this base. Now, I don't have any specific size I'm working with. Okay, what I'm going to do is basically shoot from the hip. All right, so that should be pretty good to show you folks. All right, so that's my base. Okay, let's get off of it so you can see it. All right, and it looks a little big to walk on, so let's make that a pinch smaller, just like so. Okay, so now there's a couple of ways you can pull a prim from a prim. So if you notice, I'm going to hold on to the shift button, left click, hold, and press it up. Okay, that's one way you could do it. For this purpose, I'm going to show you another way, and the reason being because when we do walls and you do it by pulling on it, you can get stuck with seams. It doesn't pull out even. So you come up here and you see this magic wand. Click it and you see copy selected. Put a check in that. Um, not keep copy selected. Center is always checked when you do that. So now your cruiser is a magic wand. Okay, left click on the prim you want to copy, and it just copied it. So when you do a wall, it'll come up perfectly against that wall on the edge. So let me, okay, I've got this one here. Let me take the color off of this. I'm going to take the shininess off. And I'm going to use this side here. Okay, I'm not looking for any particular size of my build here. So what I'm going to do, actually, pardon me, let's go back to the color. And I'm going to do this because there's a reason why. And then I'm going to hit the face. When you hit the face, which is this right here, okay, you're selecting only that one side. Okay, that's the only one that's going to be affected. So as you can see, the edge is still black. Okay, and that's what I want to see right now. All right, so let's take off the shininess off the face. Okay, and we'll go back to that. So what I want to do here is add a carpet. Okay, so got the face selected. Go to our texture box, which your inventory basically pops out. And I'm going to type in carpet or something along those lines. So I'm going to use carpet 6. Okay, so you can see that it looks pretty rough. Okay, so over here you've got the horizontal and the vertical scales. That pertains to the carpeting, to the texturing. So let's bring it nice and tight. All right, nice and tight. Wait a second, go to 9. Let's see how it looks at 9. Oh, you know, I'll go to 10. That's probably the way to go. Okay, now they're both at 10. Let's take a look at it. Let's go into our first person view so we can take a look. It doesn't look bad. The only thing is that since it's longer than it is wider, hit the face and let's go a little tighter with that. Actually 20 should be about right. Okay. So when you do this kind of work, you know, it's you got to see how it looks, and sometimes you got to adjust your ID a little bit. So that's okay. So what I'm going to do, because you can see the lines there, all the boxes that it creates, I'm trying to avoid that. All right, because I'm a sucker for perfection, or as close to it as I can get it. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. Now you have other textures that are less seen. They don't have seams. This texture doesn't have a seam, but it has a differential from one end to the other, and that shows up eventually. So maybe, just for the sake of educational purposes, okay, let's see what we got here. I got that. I got the brown. Alright, I didn't want the now you could drag, hold, left click hold, and drag the texture right onto an object. Okay, that's not bad either. And again, you're gonna have a little something there, but okay, that's fine. So what I want to do though is add a little bit of gray to it. And if you notice, I hit the gray, and you notice this bar here. Now keep an eye on this triangle here. Right, so it does that. All right, and then you can adjust it accordingly. There you go. See, now that looks good. Okay, so we're going to keep that like that. All right, and let's see here. Now we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to make our copy. Okay, this time we're going to go this way. And then we're going to go up. To make another level. Okay, it's going to be a simple store, but at the same time, you know, just give it a little something different to play with here. Okay, so now you can start making the walls. All right, and now what I like to do, though you could take a copy from this, all right, but I need, and I always prefer to create a box. I'll show you why I'm doing this, because the box sits, the blue is pointing up, right? So what we get from that is the hollowing out happens only there. I'm hitting hollow. So let's hit the rotate. And I want it facing this way. In case I need to do an opening, okay, I'll always have it there. Okay, now we can remove the hollow. Okay, so we're going to start our wall on this side here. Now this may be, and certainly will be, a long video. Speaking of which, let me okay, check on the time. Yeah, it's going to be a long video. I'm going to keep it as one video. If you want to watch it and go back to it and finish watching it, you know, do as you will. Okay. Now I want to make sure I'm not too far into that other tile, into other prim. Okay. Right. So this section here, again, I'm not doing any real measurements. You could use there are these charts with the meters, the you know, you can be specific as to how far something is, or how big it is. But I'm just showing you how to make the store, so you have a good idea what to do with this. Okay. All right, so this I will change. We'll blank it out. Okay, and I know I'm using black. It's gonna be but you can always dress it up. And on the inside, I want to add white. It's gonna look like a light in a sense, but it's gonna help um, lighten it up a little bit. But we're gonna go with black. Okay. All right. So this is what I want to do with that. Okay. And what I want to do now, this, if you notice this edge here, now I want to show you. I'm going to hit the edge with the magic wand to make our copy, and it came all the way out, right? Isn't that nice? Now that, and now let me take the color off of it so I can show you this. All right, that's all right. All right, so you see that it lines up perfectly one to the other. If you pull it, you'll always have that bouncing thing that happens when prims are stuck inside each other. They kind of well, they bounce. So we don't want that. So the magic wand is a beautiful thing. And what I'm going to do, because I want to make a window here. Let's say about that high. Okay. Excuse me. Um, I'm using my camera to go back and forth, as you can see. I'm going to make a copy going up. Okay. And then here, I'm going to match it as best I can with this here. So let's take the color off so I can see what I'm doing. Just looking for that edge there, because my roof is going to go there. So even if it's not perfect, unless you're going to put some fancy textures, then you really want it to line it up so everything lines up perfectly. But that's fine. For this purpose here, it's a basic building video, and even though I make it sometimes seem a little more complicated than it is, but that's going to be that. Okay, so now this here, I want to hit that face, then you hold your shift button, hit this face. Now you've got both of them set up. Okay, I want to do that. And I have a window picked out. This one right here. Okay. All right, so I'm glad this happened, because now it shows you something that you have to be aware of. Okay. So you notice how the window is not lined up with the bottom there, but it is out here. So what I want to do, that base floor that we're working with, I'm going to stretch both sides. Okay. All right, so that's what we do with that there. All right, and the carpeting. Keep the carpeting just below that point, because we're going to use the carpeting as our floor, right? So now I want to lift everything up, and this is how you do it. So this is good because I'm showing you this as well. I left click, right? Let's go for that. I clicked on the prim I want to work with. You hold your shift, left click on the other one, left click. Now you got all three of them set up. Now they'll go up together at the same time. I want to get as close as possible. let's make this a little smaller. Thank you. And bring you down. Right, that's beautiful. Okay. All right, so now we're in there. And now it looks fairly good. Looks fairly good. Okay. So now take a copy of that one, go to it, make sure you remove, stretch both sides, and if you notice stretch textures is checked, you always want to keep that checked when you're making things bigger, when you're stretching the prims, so that the textures will grow with the prim. They won't stay small. So that's important, all right? Let's bring you down. I'm not going to keep it as wide as that though, but I'm using this as a divider. Right about this, good. Then we go here a little bit. There we go. Now, okay, now that we are at this point, okay, now we can drag it out, okay, because we need to end up on this line here, okay? So we got no choice, but this one we're going to have to work out and use our, okay, you can notice the light, right? So you bring it back just a pinch right there. Okay. Right. So that's good. Right. So the beautiful thing about using a color like black or even white or just a color, not a texture, is that you can it hides any blemishes a little better than everything else. And at the same time, you know, you get a very classy looking structure. So I made a copy of that one. I'm going to stretch it. See how it bounces? That's what I was talking about before. Okay, I need to get up there so I can see. Okay, that's good. All right, so now you can always dress this up. You can look, as long as you have enough prims to work with, um, and that's a matter of where you go. And some OpenSim places, you can get free land. You can host your own region, which I'll take a moment here to look to show you. If I could get the big map up. This is the region. This is my region. The owner of this place, which is this lady right here. She's the owner. Very nice person. Very nice people, and it's a lovely place. This is uh, Neverworld, um, and you can come and check it out. They're a lovely community. So yeah, I'll put some information in the description about this place and how you can come here if you're interested in checking it out. But you know, it depends where you go, and some places like Second Life cost a lot of money. So I mean, I'm in Second Life. I've been there since 2007, but I have used places. I have bought land at one time, and but yeah, Second Life is costly. And but OpenSim is great. There's a lot of free stuff, free places. You can host your own sim. So you basically download the program into your computer. It doesn't kill your computer. It's not a very heavy thing, but you know, I've used it with my old computer, and that was a potato, and I was able to work it. So yeah. So it all depends how many prims you have to work with. That's really when it comes down to. So you can always dress this up, and I'm going to show you a quick thing here. If you don't like the way it looks very flat like that, okay. All right, so we do this just to show you. All right, we take this. I'm going to remove this color so you can see what I'm doing. Turn it. Okay, make sure it's perfect. It's perfect. All right. Okay, and you go just over it. Okay. Go just over it. All right, and you don't want to make it the same width as the what you have there. All right, you want it always a little different. And it's a simple thing. You're just dressing it up. Okay, and I'll throw a little color in there. Where we go here? Here we go. All right, it's just to have a contrast, right? All right, so there's your contrast. All right, and if you don't like it, you can go a little darker. You could add different colors. It's up to you. Okay. Um, but yeah, that gives you a little contrast. All right, kind of like a framework, right? You know, and yeah, and you could do it with this one also if you're going to keep it black, and you can't keep it black. So let's just show you, right? So that's black, okay? And you want to have a little more definition here. Okay, well, no, actually, I'm not going to do it like that. But you can do it like this. Bring this down. Okay, I want to take the color off so I can see what I'm doing. Otherwise, I can't see anything. All right, so when you overlap the other framework, okay, always go just a pinch into it to give it a, so you're not bouncing. Okay, so now let's stretch both sides a pinch. That's all you need. Go back to black. Now you have some definition. Okay, and it kind of washes up top. Okay, it does kind of wash on top, but there's ways around that. And I know it's going to be a long video, so don't, you know, I stray off because I'm trying to teach. So let's get that off. Okay, we'll go there and we go there. So now this one here, I could probably go over a little bit. Right? There you go. All right, so, all right. Now what I would do, because you want to have a little more definition. So you don't want to go completely black. All right, let's see how that looks. All right, there you go. All right. Okay. And we can go a little thicker to give you a little more oomph. There you go. See? So now it stands out. Right? So we'll leave that like that. We'll leave it like that. So we're going to pull a copy out of this one. Okay. Now, the other thing you can do, and which I am going to do it, and you have to dress up these things. You know, it does take a little extra work. All right, stretch both sides. You want your window prim to be a little thinner than the wall itself. And what that gives you is that, okay? And that's okay. We see the carpet there, but we're going to fix that, okay? So let's do it here as well. Let me keep an eye on this here. Just to get a basic thing. All right, we're going to leave it like that for now, but we're going to be covering that, okay? You have to dress it up. You have to dress it up. So, you know, it takes some prims to do that, and that's all right. So now we've got two windows there. Take this one here. Come on. Okay. All right. And now, what we're going to do, excuse me. Sometimes I forget to lower this phone down. So let's do it now. Shut up, phone. Okay, so now we want this window, and we want it here. We could pull the copy. Just stick it in inside a little bit. Okay. All right, so I am going to sometimes you think of something and yeah, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you something. It's going to be a long video, folks, so put it aside and come back to it. All right, pull a copy of this forward. Stretch it out. Okay, I'm going to leave the length on it. I'm going to remove the color. I'm going to turn it. Remember what I did with the box in the beginning, right? Because the hollowing out goes to the top. I want to bring that back. 360 is perfect. Okay, so now we go to hollow. Oh, okay, well, I think I gotta turn it again. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. All right. Let's see what that does for us. Okay, what I want to do, I want to avoid having so many prims, right? Let's say you have less prims to work with, right? So we've got that. I'm just fitting it in, folks. Don't mind me. All right, so let's take this top one, which is in my way. Leave it there for now. Okay, and go back to that one. Use the top only. Right there. Okay, and now let's put this here. We can do it for both sides. same time, that covers up the carpeting. Okay, now what that does, we got to bring the window in a little bit to fit, and that's fine. Don't worry about that. It's not the size you started with. Okay, which means, however, this one here we can delete. Okay, because we're going to be using another one. All right, and let's go back to you and bring you back up to about there. All right, so you have a little definition there. All right, so now you we can get rid of. Okay, and we have, this is the big one, right? This connects these two walls up top, right? So we don't want to use that one. We want to use this one here. And likewise, bring it out. Okay, let's see where that. I think it's this one here. There you go. Okay, so now when you look at it, okay, you have some definition. You have some definition. So that's cool, you know? All right, and it comes to mind when you're working with stuff like this, eventually you see that it's, you know, maybe you could do it a better way, you know? So, okay, so we want our window here. All right, and we'll just take a copy of this one here, but I think what I want to do first is take a copy of you. And actually, take a copy of you and take a copy of you. All right, so that's a temporary linking process there. You hold, like I showed you before, you can move everything at one time. So that's called basically a temporary link. All right, so now you get out of there and just click the one. When I say click, I mean left click. I always mean left click. Where are you? Right here. It's okay. We're going to fix that right up. Stretch it back in. Okay, so now that'll all blend in just a moment. Okay, it'll all blend in just a moment. So let me take a copy of you. All right, let's bring you in about there. Let's get close in so we can see what we're doing. So always the left click. That's all I'm using is the left click. I'm holding, dragging. Just like so. Okay. And okay, now I noticed that. Okay, I did notice that. So let's bring you in just a teeny bit like that. Beautiful. Simply beautiful. Okay, now I didn't want to eliminate this one beam here because what happens is, as you notice, the framework, right, the smaller or wider you pull it, okay, stop walking. Okay, if you notice, it changes the thickness, right? So, and that's okay. It looks all right. It's not terrible, okay, and it'll be fine. However, I think I should have done that instead. Um, well, you know what? I know how to fix that. The beautiful thing about this work here is that you find different ways to do things. I had a friend, we used to call it happy accidents, right? So this window, because it's your store, it's your build, you can make it any way you want, right? So this window can be a little bigger than that window. Okay, those two are, are a set, right? And this is going to be by the front door or front entrance, as it were, and that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So, but we're not going to get rid of you. We still have use for you. Um, yeah, actually, we don't have use for you because I don't like your size. So let's get rid of you, and we'll take a copy of you. Okay. Onto the ground. We'll keep you like. Okay, so here you got to make a decision. Okay, where is your doorway or your door going to go, or an entrance, right? It doesn't have to be a door. Okay, and I mean, you want it more realistic, you can put a door. Now the doors are a different thing because you have scripts that make the door open and close. So that's something that it's something you got to work with. I'm going to show you that in a different video. All right, so I'm going to pull a copy and I'm going to put you over here. All right. All right, so this wall is not going to have any windows. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if I can stop moving around like a lunatic. All right, so our brother's cat is meowing because he wants to come in here, and I don't want him to come in here. All right, so let's show you what I'm going to do. I'll hit that one. All right, you want to get all of them in this, all right? So make sure you get everyone. Left click, hold your shift, then left click on every prim that's there. Okay? Don't forget your prims. You want every prim that's there. And you. Okay? And what I want to do, take that one off and put it on. When you link it, the last one that's linked becomes the prime prim. That's the yellow one. And the reason I wanted that one is because it's pretty well centered. And it's easier to turn this wall around, which is, okay, I just pulled a copy of it. Let me fly. One of the things you can do in these virtual worlds is fly. I don't like that bouncing. By the way, for a little common knowledge, the that fluttering and that bouncing helps to create lag. So that's something you should know about. Actually, I'm not going to turn it. I don't know what I'm thinking there. Okay, let's just bring you over to the side. Stop flying, please. Thank you. Okay, good. There we go. And just like that, you got the other side done. Right? You can pull copies of it. Link it, pull a copy, bring it over to the other side. Okay. Now, unlike the other side, this side is not going to have an opening in or a doorway or anything. So now the object is link. We don't want to unlink the whole thing. We don't need to unlink any prim we're going to work with. We could just hit edit link parts and left click on the prim you want to work with. It singles it out. I want to work with that one. Stretch it. I'll bring it right to the corner. Leave a little bit of space there because you're going to come across the wall and it's going to cover that lip there. So that'll be just fine. Okay. All right, so let me grab a copy of this one here. Always make sure you left click on the one that comes out, because you make a mistake, you can grab this one back here instead. All right, so this one you don't have to worry about it really being set up like that, because you're going to turn it. You're going to work with it in a different direction. And 70, 71, bingo. Use your camera. This way it doesn't bounce your camera all over the place. All right, just cover that carpeting. Right? That's all you want to do. If you notice, the corner down here is what I'm looking at. Okay. All right, so let's see how bad I did. Let's take off the color. Looks pretty good. All right, so that's the carpeting coming through the other side. So since I'm not going to work with windows on either of these two sides, so I could take this carpeting and pull it in a little bit, because that prim is going to cover all that. So think of when you're in a house or an apartment, the base molding, right? If you remove the base molding, you're going to see the floor, the edges of the floors and the walls. It may even be jagged, it may not be perfect, but the base molding covers it. It eliminates the blemish in that respect from view, okay? So now you can see it's not bouncing, right? There we go. So now, okay, all we need is one prim for this. Okay, so let's say somebody uses the store, right? They want to sell their stuff. Some places in OpenSim, there are worlds that people do sell stuff, and there's a currency. And a lot of places also you get a lot of stuff for free. They're all about free stuff, and that's all. In my opinion, it's all good. Whatever makes you happy. You're trying to enjoy your little virtual world, and more power to you. So that's good right about there. So now go right back to black. Okay. All right. So again, it looks like it's like a lot of black. I know, but it's not, because when I finish with this, there's gonna be complementary things going on. So let's pull a copy of this one here. Left click. Make sure you hit the one you just pulled. Okay. Page up. Get you flying. Come on, stop it. Yeah, things kind of get a little laggy at times, and I restarted this region, which helps in that. Uh, once you have a region, you're in charge of it administratively. So I did restart it to help clear it up a bit, and let me see what we look like over here. All right, I'm pretty well satisfied with that. Okay, so let's go to white just to be sure. All right, so now we're dealing with a small amount here, right? So you go into objects, your arrow, I want to go that way, okay? Because it's sticking out too much. So the X arrow, you got to figure out which way it goes. Okay, you can see it's moving that way. So let's move it until we see the black from the other prim. Okay, and there it is. Okay, so I'm satisfied with that. And again, when you're doing stuff like this, unless you're going to use different textures, brick, stone, wood, wood paneling for the outside and all that, and the inside, or wallpaper, um, you're going to have to be a lot more specific. But when you're dealing with this, like what I just did down there, it'll never be seen. So it hides the blemish, and it's again, this is basically so you can understand how to build stuff. It's an exercise, right? All right, so what I want to do, face there, and this face here. Okay, we're going to begin with bringing you up a bit. Okay, so it creates, right? It gives you a little more depth and perception, right? So it's black, but the shadow is a little different. It breaks it up a bit, so we want that. We like that. Yes, 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 we do. All right, so those are the walls. Let me link this, and now the OpenSim, which is where I'm at here, this is one of the OpenSim regions. You can link anything, no matter how big it is. I'm not sure. I don't recall there being a limit. Okay. All right. So I'm going to link all this to this floor, the carpet. Okay. All right. So now that's all linked. Okay. That's all linked. I haven't linked that one, the floor there. I'm going to work with that still. Okay. And this one here is going to be my entrance. And then what I'm going to do, if I stop walking, is put a roof on, which I will, you know what? I just dragged that one because it's not, we don't have to worry too much about how that's going to fit. So I'm going up with this. Okay, so now I want to make sure I can go up as much as possible, because when you're standing in this one here, stop flying, thank you. You don't want your head bouncing all over the place, because the camera, some viewers, I'm using the singularity, some viewers, and I think this one's doing it too. Okay, you see that? All right, and you can't go past that prim, can't scroll back out of it. Okay, I know that there is, but I don't think it works with this one here. You take the constraints off of the camera, and you're able to avoid that. And some places, if they're like a small house, and you walk in those rooms, your camera is bouncing back and forth off the walls. So you definitely want to give yourself some room to be comfortable. All right, so let's have a look at this here. All right, that's a little too thick for my liking, so let's bring you down a bit. All right, now this can be a little bigger than everything around it, so we can do this. All right, see how it's coming out? Okay, that's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, so now this one here, I'm gonna have to do just one side at a time, because it's you're starting off with an uneven spot, right? Because we haven't gone across that way yet. So, leg. So when you use a camera and you're close to the walls, it eliminates that camera bouncing off the walls, right? So use your camera whenever you need to. Somehow I'm not seeing it. There it is. Okay. All right. So that's good. All right. Now let's go back to black. Back in black. Feels good to be back. Okay. So what I do here. All right. That's because I had both sides clicked on. That's what that is. Okay. Never mind. Let's get that back in here. Okay. All right. Again, a simple store, right? Just a few windows, right? All right. Now you're gonna say, well, it's nice. It's black, right? You could do different things here. I'm gonna show you. Let's work on the inside. All right. This is your entrance here, and I want to do one thing before I forget. All right, here we go. Let's remove the color. Let's rotate it. Let's make sure it's precise. I'll fix that just a moment. Just a moment. Okay, so now this one here, excuse me, we're going to make a little thinner. And we could do both sides. And then we could do this here, just to put this sucker in. All right. Okay, so here, make this a little bigger on this side here. So let's say you want to put a sign there, your company logo, right? So you have that. All right, so then you're gonna pull a copy out of this. This way, this one you don't have to worry about it being precise because you're gonna do something different with this. See about there. Okay, so what I want to do is make this a little thinner. So I want a little room to work with. And I want that to stay inside these walls, but be thicker than this one. Okay, there you go. Okay. So now, this here, see if I can, just for the hell of it, right? Okay, this one here's what I use here. All right, so it's like that because of the way we're pulling the prims. There you go. Now, let's see what that looks like there. We're going to have to flip that texture. I will show you that in a second. Okay, so let's first take care of the, right, and I need to make that a little bigger. All right, so here's where you got to work detail, right? So when I click on this, that one click from 4 to 3, that gold disappears. So I want to click below the 3 and turn that 0 to a 5. All right, it doesn't work. We'll turn that 5 to an 8, and there you go. All right, right at the edge. This is where I want it. Okay, so 1 second here. All right, so now I want this to mirror this one, right? So how we flip it, pick the face. Okay, so you want the vertical, right? The vertical? No, schmuck. The horizontal. There we go. And now we do the vertical. No? Wait a second. What's wrong with this picture? No, something. I'm doing something wrong here. Is it the 90? No, not the 90. Well, apparently I was wrong about that. So we'll just leave it like that and live with it. Okay, fair enough. There's probably other way to do that, but for some reason, but anyway, that's how you flip the textures. Normally, um, normally there would be a way to get it to sit exactly, but anyway, we read from left to right. I think that's what's causing it. So all right, let's just live with that. What happens when I don't think anything happens when nothing happens when I do that. The shininess. Right, because I made this texture and for some reason it doesn't take the shininess, but that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. Okay, so yeah, that's correct. So now we'll take this and we will put the color back on. Okay. So now, do we want to have a framework here? Let's say we do. Let's say we do. So let's take this one here, unlink it. You can't mess with it yet. Okay, go up to tools. Every viewer is a little different. You got to figure out which is the one that does the unlinking and all the different actions and all that. So get to know your viewer, okay? Don't be afraid to press buttons and look for yourself. So unlink that one and get off of it. Now we can hit the shift, hold it, drag. Okay. And I am going to bring you to about there. Right? Let's see what happens when I... Good, I like that. All right, so now do that to the one side. So I want to make sure it lines up with that up there because I am going to you know what? Let's just see how it looks like. All right, so you got that there. So we don't need that bottom one there, right? So there's a couple ways. You could just pull it down and make it disappear because that's going to go under the ground anyway, right? You could also cut it. So I'm going to show you that now. So let's bring this up here. Let's get off of that. We go to here. All right. So it's the slicing. Give me 1 second, folks. I gotta. My headset is calling out for power. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that, but there you go. So slicing. We're gonna find out which corner because it starts at the corners. But there's one specific corner that it starts. Whether it goes this way or this way represents these two numbers here. Okay, so here's the thing with that. the way I have this thing set, it let's do this one here. Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. All right, so that's the corner it works off. Okay, I was doing the wrong thing. Been doing this for so many years that even I forget stuff. All right, so let's do that. See how much it sticks out over here. Okay, so that's as wide as we want, as thick as we want that. So there's a couple of things we can do here. All right, if we pull it down, we still have this sticking down at the bottom. No big deal. I've done stuff like that before. Or we can continue to cut until you get to the red line. That's when it's nice and even. The cut is even. You don't have any pointed and any points on it. Oh, let's go the right way, shall we? All right, and there we go. So now take this, and the prim is still in existence down here, although it's invisible and you don't walk on it. All right, it's like it's not there. Okay, so that's what it's like. It's like it's not there. All right, but in essence, it's still, you still have the prim there. So pull this down all the way down. The only issue I have with that is, you see how it's down there? When you link this store, that may affect how you move it. You could always move it and get it where you need to get it. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to stop that from happening. But, you know, um, sometimes it could be a pain in the neck. So, I never cared for that. I just wanted to show you that. I can live very easily with this. Okay. And just stick it in there until it disappears. And voila. No big schmeal. Okay, so now you have a little framework there. Okay, and we could take this same piece. All right, again, it takes prims to build stuff. So you want to dress up your store. You know, I've seen elaborate buildings, and the reason I'm doing this video is because places like Second Life, or even these places, but I think more so Second Life, they get a bad rap because, like in Second Life, they do a lot of sexual crap, and I'm not into that. I'm about creative. This for me, it stimulates the mind. You create stuff. You have an idea of something you want to, build, and you're able to do this. I knew someone who was an architect in real life and used Second Life as a three-dimensional tour. So he would build the house and have the client come to the office and go into Second Life, and they walk through, and it gives them an idea of what the place looks like and what they're going to get. So there's a lot of creativity. I've known a lot of artists, real life artists, that that done a lot of work in Second Life and other places like this. So you know, it's a lot more than that silly stuff. And I call it silly stuff because for me, it's just not what I'm about with these games. I just enjoy making stuff. All right, so let's see where I'm at here. I've got this here. I'm going to close this up. If I go the other way, there we go. All right, so now I want to leave some space. I want that to show the gold. Okay. All right, so okay, we'll put it there. And then we're going to take this, bring this down right to that point. And there you go. All right, looks a little more dressed up. You can have doors here. I never got too worked up about that. If you want, I mean, again, I do get specific when I build. All right, so I'm gonna pull another copy of this. Excuse me. I'm getting a little froggy here. And I don't mean the kid from the Little Rascals. Let me find that. Okay, right there. All right, so, all right, close that up. Close up the hollow. I'm going to make this flat. Oh, up to there anyway. I'm going to change a couple of things on this. Okay. Yeah, I got to go all the way with that. Now, the reason why I did this is that it looks uniformed, right? Now, you could say, well, could have kept this thing the way it was, but I want to make this a little thinner than that actual frame. All right, so a little thinner than the actual frame and a little lower than where it would have sat. Okay, and that's doing that, and that's okay because what I can do about that, here's where you'd make adjustments, right? So edit link parts. No, no, actually that bottom one hasn't been linked yet. Okay, so all right, so here's where you start messing around with it. All right, so now just gotta find the right spot right there. All right, because it was bouncing through. It was a very close fit, and that's fine. Everything sits fine. Okay, everything is just fine. You got the framework sits on it, and now we've got this opening here. The other one was too thick. This would have been too thick, so I was able to bring that in a little bit. In fact, I could probably now bring it in a little more. Find the end, there it is, and just come forward a little bit. All right, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And my brother's calling me on the phone, and I love him, but he's gonna have to wait until I get this video done. So, okay, so all right, so that looks, now we're cleaning it up. It's looks all right. Looks all right. So now we take this, add it to that, to that, to that, to this, to that. Okay, and then we go to Tools and link it. All right, it's all linked. All right, we're doing good here, folks. Now, a couple of things we can do here. All right, so let's lighten things up a little bit. Okay, so that's one prim. All right, so let's get a copy of that. Grab that. And I'm going to make that thinner so we don't bang our heads. I want to bang our heads. Bang your head. All right, so, all right, what I want to do, I'm not gonna use it like this. I'm just starting to work with it. That's all. All right, and one side only, which is what I want. All right. So what I want to do. Just bear with me, folks. And now stretch both sides in. And we're going to remove the shininess. Okay. And we're going to take the hollow off of this. We're going to stretch both sides. Now I'm using the white one. It does the whole entire thing, all different, the thickness, the width, the length, everything gets changed. Just a little bit. Okay. And we're going to pull full bright. Now you see what I'm saying? Okay. It's a little too big for my liking. So I'm going to change that. All right, what I want to do though, so I can see what I'm doing, let's put you to blue, but it's still light blue. Okay, this is going to be a little tricky because I don't have much room to work with. Okay, that's pretty good there. Okay, so let's do both sides. And we'll do both sides just about there. And we'll take you, bring you in there. Okay. Right. So you see how that lights it up? It doesn't feel as dark. Okay. All right. So that's what I was talking about. All right. So now, if you want to, this framework can sure use a little help. So let's do something about that. Let's bring you up a bit. Right. Breaks it up. Okay. And you could do similar things on this one here. Okay. But you know, if let's say someone takes this as a store, right? They're gonna put stuff here. They're gonna put paneling, you know, like boxes that are used in this world, and all these types of worlds. You take a box, right? Let's just do that. All right. You can put stuff in there. Say you want to sell, you know, you want to sell shirts, right? So you put the picture of the shirt on the face, on the texture, and you put the shirt inside the box in the contents. Okay, and you set it up for sale, and they get a copy of the box with the contents, right? So that's one way to do it. You put boxes around, right? Or you could put it on the wall, and people have nice logos, and you know they have an avatar, and they put the clothes on, and they have a nice photo studio, and you know they use that to put the to put the merchandise. And so imagine, a bunch of boxes. And now they're like vendors, that we call them vendors, right? Former vendors. I'm just making copies to show you, right? Like so. Right? All right, so that lights up the place also, because now they're gonna have their stuff there, their pictures and all that. There's gonna be white backgrounds and different colors and what have you. So that's gonna light it all up. So I don't worry too much about it being black or any other color or texture you use. You make it the way you want to, and if someone says to you, "No, I like your building here or your store," hey, can you change the textures on it? Or maybe I want it, black. Maybe I want it, white. Maybe I want, blue streaks going through some paneling or something. And you could do that for them, or if they don't know how to do it themselves, you know, um, yeah, it's an easy thing, and you can make a custom build for somebody. We don't want to delete that. Okay. So yeah, I don't get too crazy about that. So now let's talk about this. I have a set of stairs that I've been using. Okay. Now you see, it's a little long in the bottom, right? So 72. I don't worry about that too much because I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, now you could put this over here by the window. Okay, you could put it in the middle. It's entirely up to you. There are different stairs. You can make stairs with if this is only 3 prims. 1 prim, 2 prim, and the whole thing is 1 prim. This is a sculpty, the middle part. It's called a sculpty. But this you can make stairs, and it costs more prims to do it. You know, um, I'll show you very quickly. All right, yeah, let's do this here. Gotta get closer and grab that one. Just bear with me, folks. All right, so let's get that out. Let's throw color into it. All right, just to break it up a bit for you. Make a copy. Oh, make sure to copy select this box. It's checked. Right, so you could do that. Right, something like that, right? So there's different ways you could do it, right? So you could do it like that, or you could take this one here and lift it up a bit. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, that's pretty good actually. All right. Right, and you could do that, and it's you'll have to work it out where how far you have to go out for it to reach the top. So, but there are different sculpties also, like this thing here is a sculpty, and there are stairs that look very different and a lot better, and that's fine. So I'm just using this because it's simple, and I can show you folks how to put a store together. Okay. Stop walking, please. Thank you. All right, so there's your stair. Okay, so want to put it in the middle? Yeah, we could put it in the middle, right? Okay, let's keep an eye on that. Right, this is how you could judge it by eye. That's pretty close. All right, there you go. So now the stairs look a little small for the span here. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can either not put it in the middle, put two sets, which costs you more prims, right? You can do that, or I'll work it out in a second. You know what? Let's work it out first. Let's get back to the center. Okay, good enough for me. All right, so now unlink one of these. And now you're going to have to reset it anyway. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. So let's say you want to make it a little bigger. Just make it a little bigger. There you go. All right. And now, get that all off. Reset that. Yeah, good. All right. You know, you could put stuff on the sides to decorate it and all that. So, but that's your stairs. And this is a sculpty. And I use some prims to give you a little, you know, railing as it were. Okay. And now, let's talk about you. I'm going to copy you. Bring you down here. We're going to. I don't want to move that one. I want that to. No, pardon me. Let's do one thing at a time, please. DaggerHand, please. Thank you. Let's get that off. And we're going to put the carpeting and find the same one we used up here. It's 22. Okay. 22. All right. All right. Okay, now this is going to be a little different because we have it's not as wide as the other one, right? So we want to make sure we don't create too many lines. Let's get off of this. Let's have a look at it. All right, and let's draw a little color into it. All right, so it's there. I'll put that here. I'll put it about there. Okay, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. All right, so now we don't want to cover that whole floor. All right, we want to be a little fancy, right? So let's pull this off of here for now. Let's take this floor. And we will hollow this sucker out a bit. That's more than a bit. Okay. Now we'll bring you in. And now we will shorten things up a bit. And working with this, you never have to be so specific. If you notice, all right, I'm going right to the edge here, but I'm going in a little bit. And it don't matter, you know, it's because this kind of texture that I'm working with, you're not losing anything. Okay, nothing is getting cut off. You know, it's not like a floral texture where you want to see every bit of the leaves and the flowers and the stems and all that. So something like this, it just blends right in and it looks just right. So we don't have to get nuts about it. All right. So that's nice. It's not bad. Okay, now only thing I want to do is bring it up a little bit because I feel like I'm walking up on a step. So it's blue. Blue goes up. Yeah, we just want an edge. Okay. A little bit more. Okay. I'm satisfied. All right. So this is a basic build. Let's finish this part up. And let's not forget the base of the actual build. And give me 1 second on that. I'm going to do something with that light. Okay, the bottom here. Okay, wait a second. Let's do everything first. Let's do everything first. Let's do everything first. I want to make sure I've got everything first. Because I'm going to make the very bottom my prime prem now. Since it spans the whole of the store, the build. Look at that sucker. Alright, so this is what, 40 prims, not counting the light up there and these windows for that matter. Alright, let's make sure it's all clicked. Make sure it's all clicked. Alright, so let's add that to it. That's 41. All I'm doing is clicking, go to edit. If you find one that's loose, that's not part of the gang, then you click on it like I would do with this one here. Right? Hold your shift button, click on something else like the rest of the place. Okay, then go to link. Okay, although I don't want to do that with this just yet because I may do something else with that. Now this looks nice. I mean, it's nice, right? Okay, so let's try to make it a little nicer. If I can do this without screwing it up. All right, so let's see what happens when I make you a little smaller. Stretch both sides. Okay, I'm going to use the white box. It's an even movement of every part of the, yeah, there we go. Let's do that. So we get an even stretch right across the board. All right, let's do that. 1 second, folks. Let's see if I can, no, okay. A little more. All right, so what I want to do is the blue, right? The blue, okay. All right, just like that. Let's find that happy spot there, which is it. It's hard to do this when you have no room to work with. 4. Okay, let's bring you in and see what you look like. Okay, you think I'm nuts. I know you think I'm nuts, but I'm not. Just gotta find the... I think it's 15, right? Right. Okay. All right, it's just a simple design, right? All right, so now we'll take the white. Actually, let's do something first with that one here. Let's bring you out a little bit. All right, so you show a little definition. Okay, now we clicked on the white. Pull a copy of the white. All right, and I'm going to go back in. All right, so now, oh no, sorry. Let's just scratch that. I did it with the wrong one. I'll stay with this one here. Pull a copy of this. Take out that. Make it white. Put the bright on it. Let's get rid of the shininess. Okay, now this one, okay, let's make it a little bigger. All right, and this is here. You see this here? Glow, right? All right, so it gives you a little glow there. So it's different than the other white. All right, so we're going to stretch you a little bit here, using them both. Okay, something like that. Now you can go either way with that. You can stick it in there, have a flat surface there, and it glows. The other white is not glowing, so the center is glowing. Okay, you can go higher. All right. But the problem I have with that is that sometimes it looks like it's, bouncing around, and but you know what? It's just something different, So you can take some of that off, right? And if you wanted to, you could try some colors, see how it comes out, right? Go blue, very light. Right? And you could work, or you could try different things. You could try different things. So I'm just going to go with the white, and the glow, I don't want to go so high. So I'm going to go to about 4. All right, put your number in, then left click away like in here, and that activates it. Okay, it's not a lot, it's a subtle thing. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Now, I'm going to change one thing around. This one here. Okay, so you're there. Let's just take you. Let's bring you out a little bit. Right? And then let's take you. Let's bring you in a little bit. And then we take you. I like it like that, actually. But you know what? It gives you a little difference there. Right? And in fact, here's what I'm talking about, right? So let's take you. Let's pull a copy of you. Right? And now we're going to stretch you smaller. Find your edge. Okay. And there you go. Right? Okay, so that's your centerpiece for your ceiling. And it's a little large, but now that you've made it, right, you could do this. Grab all of this together, right? Just the lighting. Link it. Okay, now stretch both sides. Let's try to get a view on this here. Here we go. All right, both sides have to stretch. Both sides, and you want to use the white. You can only use the white because it's a linked part. Okay, so now you could make it a little smaller. If it's too much, you know, now you could set it and adjust it to so it's not overwhelming, you know. Yeah, that's about right. And then I will do this. Okay, that's how you check to see how much is sticking out from the ceiling. All right. So I really don't know if it's perfectly in the spot. So you want to try to do that. Let's bring it down. Don't worry about any of that. Okay. Let's bring it down. Okay. So here you're going to have to make a little change here. So let's unlink this one floor. Right. Okay. So now, did I even unlink the one floor? Okay. I think I didn't know. Let's try that again, please. Thank you. Okay. All right, so unlink. Thank you. All right, so there it is, right? All right, so right. So now, do you want it center with this one floor, or do you want to kind of lend to the other side a little bit as well? So let's 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 do it over here. All right, that's pretty close, right? I mean, you can always get specific. Okay, I'm just doing this to show you. Right, that's not what I want to do. Little error on my part, folks. Got the wrong piece. There we go. All right, let's put you back up before I make a disaster over here. All right, so this white one here, I think it needs to go down a tad. All right, there we go. So now we can take that off. There we go. Now we're going to walk over here. Make sure the floor is proper. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's link that floor. All right, you've got your lighting. All right, and here's your basic build. So, you know, you could do different things with this. You could leave it like that, very modern looking. You know, people are going to put stuff all around it. And, or you could make some kind of railing system. You know, you could always do that. I mean, it's a simple enough thing. So, let me take a quick look here. Yeah, my goodness, this is a long video, folks. So, but I wanted you to see this. So I wanted you to see this. If you're interested in, you know, some kind of creativity, right? It's a very stimulating thing. I've done it for years. Started 2007 in Second Life. I used to have stores there, and I got involved with art groups, all kinds of wonderful things. So um, let's take that off. All right, let's see here. I want to go to here. Thank you. All right, so now let's get you down to proper size. No, that's not proper size. That's the thing going crazy on me. All right, so put you right in there. You know, you don't have to get too crazy about design. Okay, you have a wall there. Okay, and the beautiful thing about this is that I'm doing one side only right now. Let's say something about there. Okay, so here you have that, right? So unlink this. Okay, you could work with the parts you already have. You just have to unlink it. Okay. Okay, now I don't have to worry about how I pull a copy of it. Make sure you link this back right away so you don't forget it. All right, and let's find you again. Okay. All right, let's get rid of that. I want to fix that. I don't need all that meat. All right, and you don't have to worry about if it's sticking down into there. I mean, it really is irrelevant. You know, it's irrelevant. It's just a regular black color, no texture. Nothing's going to be altered. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get you. Let's get you. I want to bring you to there. Okay. Let's get you here. And let's bring you up. Right? It's about right. Okay, right there. All right, then you take a copy. You go to the end here. Stop walking. Thank you. All right. Now this one here, we'll do that. Put the black into it. The reason why I don't leave it like that without the shine, you know, you can. It does break it up. So you want to do that, you can do that. You know, um, it almost looks a little too. I hate to use the word cartoony, but I guess that's really what I'm getting at here. You know, you could do that. I mean, yeah, absolutely. In fact, I am, but it lacks definition. Yeah, you can see the edges, but it really washes for me. So that's, I mean, maybe it's just me how I see it. You know, um, not so much. Thank you. Just a little bit. Yeah. All right. So let me throw a little sheen into it because yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. So now I want to throw a little sheen into you. All right. And let's go a little lighter. See how you look to break it up, right? Now we can make a copy of that and put it over there. So make sure it's all the way to the edge. Good. I can live with that. Okay, so now I'm going to connect these two together, link them. All right, and I did that specifically so that that will remain the prime prim. So when I pull it, it'll be a little easier for me to work this end over here. There you have it. Okay, so now this one here sticks out a little bit on that end because it was inside the wall, so it doesn't matter on that side. I ain't got no reason to get crazy about that. So all I want to do is get that in there. Hey, all right, thank you. Welcome back. All right, so you could do that, you know, something like that, or you come up with your own design, or they have sculpty railings, which are very, you know, elaborate and all that, and you can certainly acquire those. But that's your build. That's your basic build. What am I missing here? Start with you. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's right. This, this. Like that. It's 47 prims. We're just going to link this to it. All right, 52 prims. Now, I'm pretty sure that I got everything. But I've been wrong. I have been wrong. And the reason I'm saying this is that this is the time when you have to have courage. Okay, and I'm hoping that I did everything right. Mistakes happen. I'm just clicking on prints, make sure it stands out alone, right? So here we go, folks. You lift it. All right. Aha, you see? Okay. So there's one prim you missed. You, not me, you. Okay, let's see here. It's at the bottom or it's the top, right? Right there. There we go. Let's link you in. All right, so that's how it is. Sometimes when you do a big build, you know, there's a lot of prims. You got to make sure you keep linking because you know you're gonna miss one or two here or there, you know. So that's your basic build. This is how you use these tools here in these kind of places. Uh, this is again Neverworld, and it's part of the OpenSim uh, community. And but they all have the same tools. These tools are all the same. You know, you make a prim, it's the tools are the same. The only difference is the language. Instead of create, it may say build, that kind of stuff. So you just got to get to know your viewer, and that has to do with the viewer you're using. So that's it, folks. I hope you enjoy that. Something different. I know there's been other builds and other stuff like that with these kind of places in the past, but I wanted to do mine because I have been in these virtual worlds for a very long time. I've done a lot of stuff, and I wanted to make a video to show anybody who feels like, you know, when you need to play a game of chess and you need that stimulation in the brain, this does the same thing for me. And that's why I've spent so much time in these places, because I've really enjoyed doing this. And you can give it away to people. If you're in a place where they sell it, you could sell it, and that money you use, you could pay your rent for your land, you know, and keep your little habit going here. So That's good, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you, as always, for spending time with me. Leave your comments below. Please hit the like and subscribe, and I would appreciate that so very much. Thank you, everybody. Be well, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye.